Hello YouTube artist! I'm Kelly Hernig and welcome to In the Studio. It's been a while since I played with color cube cards and I thought let's get back into mixing, especially with my new studio palette for 2025. It's new colors, so I get to try the mixes over and over and over and see how they come out. This is a portion of the color cube cards. I split them up with two other friends and we were left with quite a big amount here. This is more than I'll ever be able to get through, trust me. But if you haven't seen the color cubes cards, this is what they are. They are cards with palettes on there. There's beautiful pictures. They were meant for colored pencils. So on the back here you have colored pencil numbers. She's got all of the different brands. This comes with a huge digital file that you can look up individual brands of pencils and see what's closest. I also like on the back here that you see the tint, the regular value, and the shade value. That's really helpful if you're looking to shade colors or find similar colors in a color family. I really like the way that these are laid out. Here is a number. So I've got two boxes. I've got the color cube one and two here. So number 1 I believe is 0 to 250, and then color cube 2 is 251 to 500. And that's what these little numbers up here. You can see they're all a little different. I've got, here's like a 38, here's a 02. The one I'm using today is 397. So I just usually look and I pull out a couple that I'm interested in, and then I decide, now what does that palette kind of remind me of? And that's how I design around the colors that we create. So here is the color cube that we're going to be doing. And I really like this because of these colors. They're muted. It's still winter here, but green is starting to appear. We've got little daffodil stems about this big. So that's where this green comes in. Everything else is kind of muted like winter here. I love the image up here, but today what these made me feel like were mushrooms and a snail coloration. Here is a mushroom that I got as a Christmas ornament. Isn't it cool? I love the coloration on top. What I really like is the skinny stem to how fat it gets here, and look at the curve of the mushroom top. So what I have in my book here, I'm using a very small book. You can see here's my hand, so it's about the size of my hand. It's a handmade sketchbook by Deanna off of Etsy, and what I have drawn is 5 1-inch squares here. That's where the colors are going to go. And then I've got the mushroom drawn with its fat stem, and then I have a little bitty snail on the top. I just thought the snail would add a nice little element, especially because we've got these kind of pinkish purples. I thought that might be an interesting color for the snail, just something different. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to attempt to mix these colors. And by that, I don't mean exact. Let's get as close as we can with your palette. I've got a scrap piece of paper here. I've got my 2025 studio palette. I'll list all the colors below. There's also a video on them in case you want to see it. But I want to see how close we can kind of get to this. When I'm mixing colors, I kind of look at it and go, okay, what colors do I see? So in this first one here, I would automatically think of buff titanium, just because that's the perfect color. In fact, all 3 of these are going to probably include buff titanium because it's a muted, they're kind of milky white. That's how I'm seeing them. I'm seeing this as more of a yellow brown, more of a peach, and more of a mauve coloration. So I just have to look at my palette and go, okay, what can I mix with my buff titanium here? Or this is actually French gray. What can I mix with that to get that color? I'm going to do a little bit of the Van Dyke brown and let's see what happens there. You want to do the color big enough so that you can see if it matches. It's pretty darn close. I'm going to also do a French gray here with a little bit of that Van Dyke brown. You can see that's too much there. And I want to touch a little bit of my yellow gray into it. I like the tone of that one a little better. Just that little bit of this yellow gray adds a nice coloration. So what I'm going to do is mix a bigger puddle of that. So that was the French gray, a little bit of brown, a little bit of the yellow gray here. And I'm going to add it to my first square. Pretty happy with that. I'm also going to splash. Okay, the next color is this one. I am going to again start with the French gray or buff titanium, whatever you have. And to me it's more on the oranger side, like a more peach color. So I'm going to touch into a little bit of that orange. Now on the color wheel, the complement, which is the color directly across, is blue. You can see that orange is a little too bright there. I want it a little more muted, so I'm going to touch into a little bit of blue. That looks great. It dirtied it up just a little bit. Did you see that kind of go gray? Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. I'm going to mix it again. A little more orange. I want to touch a little bit of the brown, and let's try that one. I actually like that one a little better. I think I'm going to use that one. It's a little more on the peachy side, but I really like it. Splashing again. Our next color is this kind of mauve-y color. And I've got this color called Strawberry Velvet. Let's see what that does with the French gray. Ooh, that's pretty. French gray, let's see how that is. You can see it's more pink than that one is peach. Pretty. I'm going to touch a little dark of brown here. I just want to mute it a little bit. Take away the strong mauve there. Ooh, that's pretty. See how it gave it a little more body? Yes. Okay. We're off to this dark color now. It's almost like a brown violet. It's beautiful. So first I want to make a violet here. So let's go into my Strawberry Velvet, a little bit of Lunar Blue. Ooh, that's pretty. All right, let's add just a touch of brown. See if it becomes any deeper. I want it a little more earthy, which is why I'm adding the brown. And you can see it just took away the shine of the violet, and I think that's perfect. Look at that. Okay, and our last color mix on the card is this green. Isn't it beautiful green? So I've got green apatite on here. And we've been adding browns, so I want to see what just adding the brown does to it. I think that might make it a little too dark. Let's have a look on our card here. See, it's kind of the wrong hue. I think this is a little bluer, so what I'm going to do is just touch a little bit of the lunar blue into that mix. Let's see that one. Yes, I like the tone better. See, it's not as vibrant as that one, and that's because of the blue. Okay, let's touch just a bit of red. Now I'm adding red to it because red is the complement of green. Again, across the color wheel. I just want to see what it's going to do to the color. Looks like it really muted it down, so let's see. Yes, that took all the color out. So I like that one the best. It was green, touch of brown, and a touch of blue. Okay, those are our 5 colors. Here they are. Not too bad. I'm pretty happy with this. I've got this one a little more orange. I might, whenever I go to mix it onto the shell here or onto the mushroom, I might add just a touch of this color into it, even though I do really like the peach color there. But I'm really happy with those. They feel very earthy to me, something you would definitely find in nature. And I love the addition of the brown. I didn't know if the brown would do it with all the colors, but you see, just by trying and experimenting, I was really happy with the way the brown kind of muted them all and made them a little deeper, but also a little duskier. So for a mushroom here, I'm going to use that green. I really like the green up here. And then the stem color, I'm going to use definitely these 2 colors. I know for the snail, I really want it more these 3 colors, so that as a little bit of the shadow, but mostly these colors. But before I even start, I want to add some circles, some just circles that are wet. Remember, I shared the book Painting Calm, and one of the things I really liked was her background. So I'm just going to come in here and do some giant water spots. And I'm just going to use the colors that I've already made here. A little more water. I want them to kind of fade away in the background. I like that they're kind of disappearing. You see how they're there, but they're not really there? I like that a lot. I'm going to splash all of those. All right, I want you to look at, before I even start, I've got some colors on there. And all of that represents my 5 colors on the side, which is really, really lovely. I want to start with the green mushroom up here, the top. I want to leave some of the white of the paper. I'm going to make it nice and dark under the snail here. Just coming into a little bit of the buff titanium to just kind of give it a different coloration. Just water. Splashing. Splashing to give me extra texture. Okay, while it's wet, I want to add some more brown into that. I'm going to try to touch a little bit of this color. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, for the long stem here, I know I wanted it to be more of these two colors, so that was the French gray, a little bit of brown, and a touch of the yellow green, or yellow gray. Okay, I want to darker up under the shell here, or under the mushroom. Just a little bit of water. See, I'm leaving a lot of air in there, or a lot of white paper. I want it to seem delicate and kind of like speckled with light. A little bit of that purpley color again. All right, I'm liking that a lot. Splashing that as well. Especially up here, I want these colors to kind of mingle, so I'm just going to take my finger with a little water. Let's drop it up in there. Now I want you to see how light these spots have become, because now we're adding fuller color, so you're barely seeing those little spots of color. Kind of following the shape there with my strokes. Gonna pick up some of that orange and a little bit of the red just for some pure color in there. Let's see what happens. All right, a little bit more of the red. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. This has been dried, and I want to add just a darker shadow up here and to this side of the mushroom. So the mushroom top, I want to add just a little bit of darkness to the snail body. So not so much the snail shell, but the body underneath. So I want those more concentrated in colors. So I want those deeper, like these colors here, just to add that nice darkness to it. Just a soft brush, touch that out. All right, so that green now, we're going to add green and a little bit of brown, a little bit of blue again. Just water. Just water. Let's pull that down. I like that a lot. So there's my snail on the mushroom. And this was card number 397. If you were inspired by the color cube mixing today, please let me know in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, please press the button. And as always, thanks so much for watching.